One of the first things I want to oh, recording in progress. Here we go. The one thing I like to hey, you missed all my funny jokes in the beginning. We didn't get that recorded. Sad face. All right, by the way, I think I'm hilarious. So, and Sarah's shaking her head right now. So at any point in time, if you just plop in pity ha 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 ha's, I will take it. I feed off of that. So first thing we're going to talk about is median versus average. Whenever I'm speaking to somebody, I don't assume they understand what median versus average is because I didn't before I got into real estate. I would consider myself an intelligent man, but I'm not, I don't know everything. So median is picture five people walking into a room. Each person has a briefcase with $1,000 inside of it. The median is $100,000 of how much money they have, and the average is $100,000 of how much money they have. Now, a sixth person walks into the room, and those five people still have $100,000, but this new sixth person is uber rich, like Jerry is, and they have $1,000,000. Well, now the median is found by starting on the outsides and working your way in. So if you have six data points, you go 1 and 6, you go 2 and 5, you go 3 and 4, yep, and you find it right there. So the median still stays $100,000 because the $1,000,000 is way over here, and the 100,000s are the other five. But our data is skewed because our average is found by, adding it all up and dividing by how many sources there are. So it equals 1.5 million. So our average jumps to $250,000. The reason I bring this up is because when we're looking at data, we have to make sure our outliers are not skewing our data. In real estate, the median price usually tells a clearer story of what's going on. Now we're going to talk quickly about month supply and absorption rate. This is exactly how I explain it to the clients as well as we're sitting at the table. Absorption rate is the pace usually measured how many homes sell per month supply of inventories, how long it takes to sell it. Simple relationship is active listings, homes sold per month, right? Now, this is how I explain it. If there are 10 homes for sale and it takes 10 months, if there's 10 homes for sale and you sell them all in 1 month, there's 1 month of inventory. If there are 10 homes for sale and you sell one a month, there's 10 months of inventory. So same number of listings, totally different speed, a totally different market. Now, people have said for a long time, and don't get mad at me, anybody who lives by this. They say a balanced market is between 4 and 6 months, so right around 5 months of inventory. Now, these slides are about a month old, so I apologize, but the last time in the 16 county metro area that we had over 3 months of inventory was in 2016. So this is how I frame it with the sellers that we're working with here. I always say about 2 to 3 months is a balanced market because we feel good when we have that much inventory. We're not pressured. Anything under 2 months is a seller's market, which means the sellers are really able to kind of dictate a little bit more of the terms. And anything under 1 month of inventory in a specific area is a crazy seller's market. And now, if you're using this tool like I am, you'll understand when you're looking at certain areas and all of a sudden you see there's 0.6 months of inventory. It's pretty crazy. So now we're going to go ahead and just log in and log into the matrix. You can see oh, sweet. I got a blue dot here. This is exciting. Hey, babe, do you see the blue dot?
Oh, keep going.
Matrix. All right. So up here in tools, you're going to see showing time and info sparks. We're going to start here with info sparks. So right up here in the Twin Cities region area, you can I typed in Golden Valley. And then right down here, I switch it from line to bar. Here's your line. So you can make that go back all the way to like 2003 or something like that. But I go to bar because it gives me a 3-year, 12-month rolling average. So it's a 3-year, 12-month rolling average. So in 2024, 2025, and so far in 2026, this is taking from this date 12 months back. And then I make sure it's single family, previously owned, traditional, all bedrooms, non-waterfront. And the reason I do that is because typically we're selling previously owned, traditional, non-waterfront homes. So that way you can really make it same. Now, if you're trying to compare bedrooms, these can all break out. That's a little more in depth. We're going to stay away from that with the time that we have allotted to us today. But come to another class and we'll spend hours chatting about this. If you see right down here, we have sales median. But what I want to do is I don't like having just the broad price ranges they have right there. So I'm actually going to change the price ranges by clicking custom. You click custom on the price range. I need to back up for a second. Hold on. I want to share something with you guys before I go any further into this. I am full-time in real estate. My wife and I sell about 30 some $1 million a year personally in real estate. And we've tracked every listing appointment, also known as an equity evaluation, that we do for the last 6 years. And over those last 6 years, using this process, we have an 82% success rate. That means 82% of the time that I give this presentation, which is well over 100 times a year, they end up signing and selling with us at some point in time. Doesn't mean they sign immediately right there, even though at the table we are looking to get the sale. That means, yes, the recording will be shared. So after we give this presentation, 82% of the time, they're going to sign with us. 9%, 9 or 10% of the time, they absolutely do nothing. All they're looking for is information, and I am going to give them that information, and I'm going to ask for a referral when I'm at the table. And then it's about 8 or 9% of the time, they end up using somebody else. And that's okay, because what is my job? My job is to give them all the information they need by the time I leave to make an informed decision. That's what we're doing here today. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the presentation. Oh, Sarah's got to figure out.
How do you ask for the referral?
So can we cover that at the end?
Yes,
Okay, let's write that question down. Ask for referral.
because you use the data to leverage that.
Yep. I'm going to answer that question at the end. All right, I'm going to go back into the screen share, guys. I apologize that I'm kind of jumping around here, but I just want to make sure that I'm giving as much information to you guys as possible in the time allotted. And I feel it's very important to share that we're in the trenches every single day. I gave this presentation 3 times last week, a couple times this week, and this is what we do. So it's not some stuff, I'm trying not to curse, just not some stuff that we've learned somewhere. This is what we do in person. All right, I'm gonna go back to sharing here. So thanks for letting me go on my little rant there, everybody. And by the way, this may not be for everybody. This was what works for us. Take as much or as none as you want. So here we go. Now,
Will, can you just show us again can you just go back a couple slides to get us here again?
yep. So Info Sparks, you're going to type in the area you want there in the top left-hand corner. You're going to change it to bar right over here. Then you're going to click single family, previously owned, traditional, all sizes, non-waterfront. And then here, I'm going to do my custom price ranges. So I want to really dive into it. So you can see this is what it comes with normally. And then I set it to $25,000 increments because I want to really be able to dive into that segment of what I think this home is going to be worth in this area. Then what's very, very, very important, once you hit save, you hit this blue breakout button on the top here. And we're going to do a live demo at the end a little bit. I'm just with generic cities. You click that, and then now look what you have here. Your median sales price, okay, that's fine. Of course, it's in a it's in a $25,000 price range there. But here, look at our month supply of inventory. Here's 3-year average, 24, 25, and 26, broken down by 400 or less, 4 to 425, 425 to 450, 450 to 475, and then all price ranges. So when we look on what's going on here, there's more competition in the 450 to 475 than there is in the 425 to 450. So this is that age-old thing. Should I list it at 450 or 449.9? Well, people tend to buy at the top of their budgets. And if you look here, there's a half a month of inventory difference by a $1 difference. So I would lean then towards yes, just based upon the data here of doing the 499.9. Now I'm going to look at the median days on market. So let's look. 14, 15, 16. Very, very interesting. 25 in this price point, 11 here. Let's look at our average. So we have 11 in this price range, 12 and 16. Our average jumps, look at that. 48. We go from 12, which is our median, which is right in the middle. If there was 100 homes sold, 50 of them sold in 12 days or less, 50 of them took 12 days or more. Now, what's is more interesting is The average is the same thing. It's right in the middle, right? But say we had 3 homes that were on the market for 360 days or something like that, it's going to completely skew our data set. So I'm showing everybody median and average days on market right at the table. I have all this printed out. And then what I'm going to go to is showings depending. And I'm going to tie this all together in just a moment here. Showings depending, look at this. Hot and heavy, 17 and 13. So in 11 or 12 days, we should have 17 to 13 showings. What does that tell you right there? When you're sitting down at the table, most people want to sell as fast as possible for as much money as possible with as little hassle as possible. And if we're telling them the median days on market is between an 11 and 13, and the amount of showings you should have in that time is 17 and 13, here's my very next line. If we get to that 13-day mark and we have not had that 13 showings, the market is telling us something very loud and clear, that we either need to adjust our price or adjust our condition. It's not me telling them, it's me showing them the data. And if a lot of you are like me, where like we hate being told what to do, like you tell me to go win the lottery, and I'm like, don't tell me what to do. But if you say, hey, here's how you can win the lottery, I'm like, sweet, gonna win the lottery. So I show people what the data is saying, and the data is going to tell them very loud and clear that if all of a sudden we're on the market and we don't have 13 showings in that 12 days, we are now moving towards the upper half of how long it's going to take. And we all know what that means. Days on market is not the best for price. And our average is 48. So that's crazy. And in my equity evaluation process, I actually have a bunch of data points printed out, and we're going to be able to identify which of those are outliers are causing the issues. All right. And then our average. So our average showings depending is not that far off. So our median, so in the green line right here, our median is 17, our average is 23. Our median days on market is 11, our average is 25. So now we can say, hey, if we get to 25 days on the market and we don't have our 17 or 23 showings, we're really being told loud and clear that we are not priced properly for this market. And that whole the whole thing, when I first got into real estate, every 10 showings, you should have an offer or a price reduction. This kind of actually brings it way more narrowed and specific to the area that you're looking for. One thing I like to show people is closed sales. How many sales have closed? So if these numbers are all about the same, that's a good thing, right? Because I want to say, hey, look, there's been a consistent amount of sales between this price range in this area over the last 3 years. Now, if all of a sudden they were way up high and now they're lower, one of a couple things could happen. Maybe those homes priced out of that price range, or people just aren't active in that price range. I don't show this one when I'm looking at clients. This is something I look at. And once again, it's just a rolling 12-month average. So then what I do is I print this off. I actually change this to PDF right here and static. But now here's a cool thing. I want to show you guys something. This is an awesome hack that it's not even a hack. I don't want to call it that. This is a tool that you have available to you that is super fun to do if you want to add this to your website or you want to put this in your newsletter. You say if you're farming a certain area, say if you're farming the zip code 55422, in this top left-hand corner here, you just put the zip code 55422, happens to be my zip code. And then you can come do all this stuff, pick whatever you want. You go to live, and you can go to embedded to put it into your website. So that means if anybody goes to your website, it's live, constant data, updated all the time right there for free. As long as somebody engages with it every 6 months, I do believe it'll stay active. Or you can take this and turn it into a social media post and share it to your stories. You can put it on your wall, whatever you want. And if anybody ever engages with that, once again, within 6 months, it's going to be live updated information. You can even put that right in your newsletter. So it's really cool. I absolutely love this section right here, but I'll go to static and PDF. And then up here, I'll go to print. Now, sometimes when you see this, you see how it's cut off right here? You're like, wait a minute, that's not right. Because you have to go to your settings and you have to click it to fit the printable area. Scale default. You can see right here is what it looks like. The reason I'm showing this is a common mistake people make, including myself. So when you click fit to printable area, then this is what pops up. And then you got your face up there, you got your all your contact information. It looks super, super sweet. All right. Now, one of the cool things, everything's cool about this. One of the things that I super love about this tool is you can create your own custom areas. Because everybody's like, well, sure, you did Golden Valley or you did Loring Park or you did, Como area, right? But I'm on the border of Como and Wyndham, or I'm over here in the 55422, but I'm closer to Robbinsdale. Well, check this out. Boomski. You can click draw polygon. And now if you've set up a search before where you're drawing a custom search area for homes, check it out right here from 36th Avenue down to Theodore Worth, Golden Valley Road, because we live right over here on Indiana Avenue. By the way, the 45th parallel, Sarah loves this. The 45th parallel is halfway between the North Pole and the equator, and it's actually right here on Golden Valley Road, also known as Duluth Street, if you're getting off on 100. So we live on the 45th parallel, which is the reason we have some decent wine in the area. All right. So I'm doing this custom area because this is actually my farming area. This is where we send postcards because this is where I want to be known because I live in this area. Come up here, you're going to click save. I love this blue dot. This is so fun. And then I'm going to create it. I'm going to call my hood, right? So you can create it whatever you want. And there you are. It's 2.1 square miles with 6,063 listings. So that's a very good data set. If it's not enough area, it's going to tell you it's not enough samples to get you the information you need. So it's going to put that roadblock in for, not roadblock, that guardrail in for you so you can't screw it up. Sarah's taking a photo of me. All right, so now you can go back to your areas right there, and you can go to up in there instead of typing in Golden Valley or zip code. I'm just going to type in my hood, all right here. Oops, and then here it is. So now you can do all the same things, but you're more specific to my hood. Now, be careful what you call this because if you call it my hood and you're showing and you print it off, it's going to say my hood in the top left-hand corner there. So I would just be careful with whatever you name it. But for this example, we're totally fine. All right. We're making good time. Going to hopefully leave a lot of information for time for questions here. And now we're going to go into the showing time data. And I love the showing time data. So you click into showing time. You're going to go up to reports right here. And then this is the screen that's going to pop up. And you have to go down to the bottom where it says target market analysis. Now, when you click this, give it a minute. It doesn't always open right away because it's pulling a lot of data. And what I found out about this is this report is updated every like 5 minutes or something like that. So this is super accurate information. And I use this for price reductions. I use this to help justify where I want a price point to be listed at. And I've also used this on when when buyers I'm representing are looking at properties. Let's say how busy has it been? Well, I can tell you how busy it's been, and I'll show you how. All right. Are you guys getting value from this so far? Is anybody even still here? Could you drop in the comments still here or loving it or just something positive-ish? Is anybody?
Oh, do you need
Yeah.
positive
I need some
reinforcement?
positive feedback. Yeah. Anybody? Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Love it. Still here. Jen
Boomski.
Boomski. Love it. All right. Cool. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate it. Praying for the Vikings as well. Let's go. Skull Vikes Skull. Okay, cool. I appreciate that. I just want to make sure that people are still here listening carefully. Love it. Thank you so much, you guys. I really appreciate the support and y'all showing up for me. And more importantly, showing up for yourself and just learning something new. And if you only take one thing away from this, that's a win in my book. So, all right. So you go to target market analysis here. And what we're going to do is you're going to pick your dates right here. Please choose a time span less than 3 months. Now I'm going to pick Golden Valley, pick your time range, and say how you could use this to get a price reduction. Say you've been on the market for 30 days and the median was 13 and you've only had 2 showings and the showings said it was 11. Well, you can come in here and you can see how many showings have happened in your area, in your zip code or in your price range. And I'll show you more. So I'm going to pick Golden Valley. I'm going to pick my price range. So you can see here 300 to 475. Why? Because that correlates directly to what I had in showing, excuse me, in info sparks on what I did my breakdown. In increments, you're going to want to change this unless you're dealing in the multi-million-dollar properties, which it makes sense then. You're not going to do $25,000 increments when you're selling a $3.8 million property. You're probably going to do 150 or $200,000 increments. But now when we're selling, in that 500,000, the most I like to do is $50,000 increments in when I'm picking on my price point. But when I'm coming in here, I'm going to change it down to 10,000 increments. You can change the bed count if you want. You always want to use market-wide data. You can even get more specific, but once again, that's like class 303 level stuff. We're just going to keep it 101 right now. So this is what pops up. You get this bar graph right here. And when you look at this line right here, line right here, 390 to 399 got 69 showings. You can see where everything else is falling. Look at that. From 320 to 470, where are a majority of the showings falling? Between 390 and 440. Okay, awesome. So that gives us some more information to make sure the client sitting in front of us has all the information they need by the time I'm done to make an informed decision. We can absolutely list at 465, Miss Seller. We can absolutely do that. I just want to let you know, excuse me, I want to show you some more information that's going to help you make an informed decision by the time I leave. That when we list at 465, because I'm going to work with you, we're going to work together and we're going to make this happen. When we list at 465, we're going to expect a significantly less portion of the showings that are happening. Because what the data is telling us here, that a vast, even to get triple the amount of showings, we'd want to be in the 450 to 460 range. And if we're in that 440 range, our chances of showings to significantly jump. So can everybody understand how that would make sense to show them this? And then we come down here. This takes the guesswork right out of it. There it is, plain as day. Where are the majority of showings happening between 350 and 475 in Golden Valley? Right here. These segments. Look at that, 4. Now, maybe there weren't a lot of showing, maybe there weren't a lot of listings in that 440 to 449, but I don't know how many people you usually stop at 425, the quarter century mark, right? So this is another great tool to help them show monthly average, how many showings on average, how many showings per listing. Oh, check this out. 410 to 420 got 45 showings. There was only one of them in that price range, and it got 45 listings. So now I can say, listen, there was an outlier here. That one had 45 showings, and it was the only one. Does all that make sense so far?
Where do you see that it's the only one?
Right here, where it says showings per listing.
Oh, got it.
You come right down here, 45. Let's do it again right here. This 69 right here. 23 showings per listing. There were 69 showings. So that means 3 showings, each got 23. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Does that make sense? So now you can actually see how many listings there were in that price range and who got them. Now, guess what? If you were listed at $399, $999, and you didn't get a single showing during this time, the data is telling you very clearly the other 3 each got 23. You got 0.
So, Will, you're able to set the time frame for this.
Yep.
Just reminding
Yep.
people that.
Right here, you can set the date range.
So it could be like a week or a weekend.
You can do a week, a weekend. You can do whatever you want. So if you want to look back for the weekend, you can absolutely do that. Great question. Thank you for contributing. Could you please wait till the end for all questions?
Never.
Then you can print this report. And I'm an old school fashion guy when it comes to paper. I'm tactile. I like to hold things. Now, everything that I print off, I also scan in a PDF format and I email it to them after the presentation as well. It's a great follow-up. But I always make sure I am leaving them with a massive stack of papers that has a bunch of data. And I always say a joke. You can either turn it into paper airplanes, let the kids color on it, or you can recycle it. And if you don't want to recycle it, I'll recycle it for you. And my entire listing presentation, equity evaluation script is a script from start to finish. Everything is a script. All right, print the report. Now, don't be me. Don't be me, you guys. Put your picture right there. You're going to see most of my stuff. I'm wearing a hat. Be authentic to yourself. Make sure it's not a 1987 glamour shot from Sears. Um, we actually got our photos taken in the back of the hardware store in Wabasha, Minnesota. I don't even know what was that the glamour shots? Do you remember?
I don't know,
Sarah
man.
doesn't know. But make sure you please fill out this information right here. But then you come down to the squiggly line right here and you click print. Katie, I love the squiggly line. Thank you for doing that. You can also download the PDF right there, but this is what it'll print on two pieces of paper and this is what it's going to look like. So you can bring this to your presentation as well. And the reason I always do ranges is because I never know what I'm walking into when it comes to a property. 8, 9 years ago, Sarah and I walked into a property. We were going to a listing appointment, we called them at the time. And this was a beautiful home on paper, and it was going to be an $800,000 listing, slam dunk, no problem. Well, I don't know how you say this, but there was a room in the home dedicated for the animal to use, so they didn't have to go outside. And we ended up telling them that the home might be worth 475, and I did not have the proper data set for that. And I think we've all had an experience like that. So I like to come as prepared as possible. For some of you doing the two-step approach, this is going to be pretty easy for you. If you're doing the one-step approach like we are, that's why I always have a price range. Yeah, that's it.
No, but I wanted you to go through the referral piece
Yep.
because
No,
this
we're gonna
is,
we're gonna absolutely do that. And then I'm gonna do a live demo here so I can show people what's going on. All right, hold on. Okay. So can everybody see me okay? You see me okay? Yep, she can. All right, cool. So when I'm this is a little bonus here. We ask for referrals the first time we meet somebody. We're asking all the time. And when I sit down, I'm giving this information, and then somewhere in the presentation, when I feel that I have a good rapport bit with them, and they realize that I truly am there to give them all the information they need to make an informed decision by the time I leave. Excuse me. Um, what I say is, now here's my one salesy ask of you. If you've enjoyed, are you giving me? Sorry,
because
y'all.
you're,
I have my caretaker here. Thanks, babe. What would I do without you?
yeah.
I say, here's my one salesy ask. If you like the way I presented this information to you today, the one thing that I'm going to ask is you pass along my information onto somebody else who could benefit from this. I don't care if they're looking to sell, they're completely just curious, they maybe want to refinance. Anybody you know who could benefit from this information that I'm giving you today, so you can make an informed decision by the time I leave, please send them my way. So I'm asking for a referral before they've even agreed to work with me. Here's what happens though. I've already given them so much value. I've given them so much confidence and data that what they're going to say is absolutely. When they agree to give me a referral before they've even agreed to work with me, what do you think's happened? I've built trust. I've shown that I have the information and the skill set in order to get them across the finish line. And they just said, yes, they're going to work with us. So I just wanted to share that. All right. So now I'm going to do a live little presentation here. Are there any questions, any Q&As, any monitors, anything like that? Anything that we could probably,
We do have some. I was busy writing down ones that had come in through the chat,
okay.
and so I can give you some of those here too.
So
First
let's
of
say like,
all,
this is like five
just as
minutes real quick, and then,
okay,
and then I'll jump into the live presentation part.
sounds good. Jeff Sunsmo, first of all, said our job as realtors is first and foremost to educate our clients. They will do it on an average of 5 times in their life, and we hope to do it 5 times a month. So I thought that was a good shout out, and
Preach,
thanks,
brother.
Jeff, for that one.
Absolutely.
And then they were asking about how you have the January data versus the March. I'm assuming you have screenshots.
Yep. Yep. And I'll,
Yep.
I'll jump into it here, and then I'll show you what it looks like now. Yep.
Okay. And then another question is about there's Flex MLS has a Spark product and there's Info Spark. And so I think there's some confusion about that and that this is Info Sparks that you're talking about. It's a
Mhm.
showing time product that you're using, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. And then Beth, and I'm not sure what part of the presentation this was, but he was talking about list price, not sold priced at one point. I don't know. She was wondering about the rationale between the 499.9 versus the 500 price. I just wanted to kind of have you repeat that.
Okay. Yep. So one thing that I keep saying one thing. I always tell people, so our job today is to come up with what I think a list price would be and what I think a sales price will be. They're very rarely the same number. And people are like, huh, what do you mean by that? And then what I'll say is, if we can generate enough interest in the property, we could possibly, with interest, increase the value of the property because I don't want to go down too much of a rabbit hole here. But I see people tend to buy at the top of their budget. So if we can price ourselves at the top of the budget at 440 or 449.9 versus the 450, people who are starting their search at 450 are probably not going to buy a home listed at 450 because they're going to buy at the top of their budget. So we don't necessarily need to show up in their searches. And this is my philosophy. Y'all can continue to do whatever you want. I see a lot of successful names out there. And then the list price is what we're going to be marketing the property at. I don't know if that even answered the question. Did? No, Sarah said no. That's okay. Maybe I'll answer it when I'm doing the presentation there. So I'm
Okay.
gonna jump into the sharing.
One of the questions, Will,
Yeah.
that I saw was, when you did, hi, everybody, when you did your hood,
Yep.
is that saved or do you have to
Yes.
go in and save that every
No,
time?
it's saved. So I'm gonna show you a shared one that I have here. Great question.
It wasn't mine.
Still a great question. Cool. All right. Get my screen pop. My screen is popping up. Cool. All right. Anybody fall asleep yet? We're all still awake.
Keep going, man.
Keep going. All right. Cool. So tools, info sparks. So you can go into my hood. There you go. Right there. Now let's say I want to right here, I want to draw an area. It's right here. So there we go. And if you guys know, there's a difference between this side of 55 and this side of 55. And there's a difference between here and the lakes and here and the lakes. So say somebody's down here in Hiawatha, right? But they're right down here in the corner. But I want to see what's going on in all of this area. Oops.
HOWE.
Yeah, whatever. It's how right down there, right?
Okay.
Whatever. So there you go. 4.8 square miles, 14,117 listings. Save. Close. There we go. Info Sparks. East of 55. There we go. So now I'm gonna go single family, previously owned, traditional, non-waterfront. And now here's a cool thing, you guys. If you want to do the line, give it a second here. You can see the median price range all the way back to 2005. Like I really enjoy this sometimes. And then we can see what it's done over the years. Then all of a sudden, boom, you can see it climbing, climbing, climbing. And then, oh, what happened here? Interest rates. And then people just didn't care anymore. But that's just, you can't really show that very well. So I click the bar. And now I'm going to do, say I have a $350,000 home that I think is going to be in the $350,000 range. So I'm going to start at 324. You see how they're done? Boom. So now I'm going to go ahead and this button right here is the breakout. Click the breakout, and there it is. This is going to tell me exactly. You can see right down here in the bottom, east of 55, traditional, previously owned, single family, non-waterfront. So when you're showing people this data, they're going to be like, oh, that's my home. That's absolutely where I live. But now say we want to do, let's do Minnetonka. Single family, all construction types. Water access, private waterfront, actually. Here we go. Now we can break it down as well. Oh, look at these price ranges. Ridiculous, right?
I mean, it would be nice.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Oops, hold on. So there we go. Check this out. How many closed sales have happened? Now I know. So if you have a Minnetonka waterfront property and it's going to be in this price range right here, you can tell them how many is sold. Guess what? Last year, nothing sold between 1.25 and 1.5. 1.5 or more was this right here, and all price ranges right there. I can now tell them too, days on market roughly, month supply of inventory. Now there's not enough data in this area to give you anything, but right here, there it is. Let's look at Edina. Let's look at the school district of Edina. Let's go 499. I'm gonna do a little larger on this one. Oops, guess
Oh,
what?
yeah, gotta switch.
There's no waterfront types, non-waterfront. Did it change my previously owned, traditional? What did I do wrong?
Something isn't right.
Well, guess what? Boom, I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. All right. So here's the thing. You can break down by school district as well. Because we know different school districts have different things. You can do by zip code. You can do it by neighborhood.
Can you do it by county?
Yep.
So like Stacy here, she's asking a question about being up north where it's like fewer and far between.
Yep.
So that's how you could do county
Yeah. So
or postal code.
well, when I get farther up north, I like to do by school district. But somebody give me a city, like somebody up north, go ahead and just drop me a small city or something like that. Pine
Pine.
City, love it. So let's look at this. I love this. I gotta move this out of the way, sorry. So we can look at month supply of inventory. 250 or more, there's a lot, right? But now let's see what's,
And you did not change your price ranges.
I didn't change my price ranges right now. I'm just looking at it. But what's the Pine City School District? Right there, 578 Pine, okay? All waterfront types. So let's just say private waterfront. Still a decent amount right there, right? Single family. See if there's any new construction. Nope, none. So you can still break it down by Pine City or whatever you want. You can do it by county. So Crow Wing County. Here we go. Month supply of inventory up there. What we have right there. If you want to look at 16 county metro area, you want to break it down. Now let's say, you know what? Hold on. I really want to see. So here it is, you guys. The 16 county metro area, there's 2.9 months supply, 500 or less. Now that may be misleading because what if we now break it down to 300 or less? It's going to be much, much less. But in all of our price ranges, in the 16 county metro area, we have 4.1 month supply of inventory. So do people find this, are people finding this at all valuable? Am I talking too fast or too much? We good?
I
We're
think
good?
it's good, and we're coming up on kind of the 15-minute warning. So if you want to leave some time for questions, we've got maybe
Yep.
6 minutes.
Quick question for you, Will.
Yeah.
How do you use this information for buyers? Like how have you, like we've talked a lot about listings,
Yep.
but someone had a question here, like especially for first time buyers, like how do you give them this information?
Great. So what I'm going to say is now say we have, let's pick New Hope. Say if somebody wanted to buy a New Hope, right? And say that their price range is, say they can buy between 250 and 325. Because that's a typical price range that we can see in New Hope, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show them. What did I do? I did it again.
Well, you're on private waterfront.
Oh, am I still? Ha, there we go. Thank you, babe. So now I'm going to be able to show them, hey, you know, Miss Buyer, I just want to show you right now that in New Hope, in your price range, there's not in the 250 to 275. I know you want to be closer to that 250. It's going to be very competitive for us. And all the way up into the 325 price range, there's just not a lot of inventory going on. And we could say, look, there's just not a lot of sales happening in the New Hope area in that price range. Doesn't mean it's impossible. I just want to set the proper expectations with you that when we're out there looking, the pickings are going to be a little slim because you have to be in New Hope. So I can show them how many new listings there are, how many closed sales, and like, the nice thing is more and more sales seem to be happening in New Hope. But right now, because of our month supply of inventory, there's just not a lot going on. And they're not on the market for very long. Look how much that's dropped since last year. Last year is 54 days. Now it's 11.
Yeah.
Last year is 52. Now it's 24. So, and in all of our showings, it's about 13 days. So that just means we have to be ready to pull the trigger. And if you're not comfortable pulling the trigger, we just have to be comfortable with having to wait for the right property for us. I hope that's okay with you. So I can now show them exactly. Now let's look at all property types. Because that's just single family, because we traditionally just do single family and previously owned. So traditional sales as well. So now I'm able to set the proper expectations with the purchaser on what's going on in the area. They're like, why is nothing showing up? Why is nothing showing up in my search? Because the homes for sales in this price range, there's literally none right now.
And then you could show them like where more inventory,
And then I could say,
you could
absolutely.
change your
So,
price points.
so, I know you don't want to be in you don't want to be in, say, I know you don't want to be in, well, what is it?
Crystal,
Crystal.
because that's its neighbor.
Now I'm going to add an area. Oh, I didn't even get into this, you guys. You can do, you can do side by sides. You can do side by sides and we really narrowed down. We're going to be in the 300 to 324, excuse me.
You're not, it,
Yep. Now look, we're only showing 3 to 325, 325 to 350.
oh, the other ones are blinked out. Okay.
Yep, and so you can just choose which ones you want, right? We're in single family, previously owned, traditional. Here we go. This blue line, if you come up here, blue is Crystal, red is New Hope. Crystal has 1.5 months of supply. New Hope has 0.5 months of supply. So if we want to stay in New Hope, we can absolutely do that. If we were willing to look one city over, we have 3 times the opportunities to possibly find you a home in the 300 to 325 price range. Do you guys find that beneficial at all? All right. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second here.
One quick question, Will.
Yeah.
how much of your listing, this is from Katie Carter.
Mhm.
How much of your listing presentation is directly in InfoSparks compared to the other parts of it?
Great question. So when I print out my information for an equity evaluation, I am bringing anywhere between 25 and 50 data points. Yes, you heard that right. I am printing 25 to 50 sheets of active pending solds within the last and TNAS within the last 180 days within an X amount of range of the property, depending upon what it is. So if we're in Southwest Minneapolis, I'm bringing, and it's a 1.5 story, I can find plenty of 1.5 stories. If I'm going up to Elk River and it's acreage, I might have to go out 15 miles within the same school district to find the amount of data points that I need. I would say it's not a it's a very small, it's a smaller part of my presentation, but guess where it is? At the end, when we're having the pricing discussion, when we're talking about our expectations and how long we're going to be on the market and how many showings we can expect. So what I'm doing is I really am saving the best for last. And my info sparks is at the very, very, very end, right before I say, great, when do you want to get started?
And then you bring a CRM.
See,
Yeah, CMA.
yeah, I don't have enough time to go through my whole
I
presentation,
know
but
that,
it's a CMA, it's all the data points, and then it's info sparks. What resources do I use for CMA? I just use the one right inside of you guys. I'm gonna do a CMA for you right now. It's gonna take no time. Um, you're gonna be like, what? That's it? Yep. And do I look at it before I go to the property? Absolutely not, because I don't know what I'm walking into. So boom, let's go here. Search single family. So we're gonna use one of our pending listings right now. We'll use this one. No, wait, no, interlocking. We'll use interlocking. So it's a 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom, 3-car garage, about 3,000 square foot, 2-story, single family. All right, cool. Let's pretend that's all I know about this property.
Did you do closed?
Yep. Um,
Single family?
and let's say I know the home should be between 500 and 700,000, right?
And you're going out 10 miles?
No, calm down. Give me, there you go. There's 25 right there. So literally, you guys, I would then see if any of them are new construction. 554, there we go. I'm gonna go to criteria and I'm gonna make sure they're all 2 stories. It's only 17, so I'm gonna go at 2 miles. So that gives me 40. I'm gonna look at the map. All right, I'm not crossing any major highways or anything like that. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna go criteria. I'm just gonna make sure waterfront, no. That dropped it down because some people had ponds and stuff. This one doesn't have a pond. Here, you guys. Price ascending. CMA. So these are I have pages, subject, cover, comparables, map. That's it. Subject right here. This is literally what I do for a CMA for a property I've never seen before. It's going to pop up right there. Finish. There you go. View CMA. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to print this CMA off. Take your time. Do, 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 do. All right, I'm going to go back here while it's doing that. And then when I come back here, I know I'm zooming right now, you guys. Just stick with me. And I'm going to print all those data points off, and I bring them all with. I just back it up like a Tonka truck. All 22. I'm going to click print. I go property condensed, 9-photo flyer. I'm looking at the property condensed. I'm handing them the 9-photo flyer. I click print. It's going to be 60 some pages. I don't care. I bring it right here.
Well,
Once
that's
again,
six.
make sure you have that right there. There's my data points.
And they love looking at the map.
People love the
Don't
map, you
skip the
guys.
map.
Don't skip the map. So say you're looking at address 8764 Pinehurst. And they're like, where's that on the map? Like, oh, great. You just go to number 10 on the map and you find number 10 right here. And then there you go. I don't think I tied any active or pendings in there, but that's fine. You guys understand what I'm doing there. So yeah, this is 72 sheets of paper. I'm printing it all out. 100%. All right. Cool. I'm going to stop sharing now. I want to answer some questions. We technically have 5 minutes left of this. So if anybody jumps off in 5 minutes or right now, I totally get it. I won't blame you. I will shame you in private. I'm a Minnesotan. I would never do that publicly.
Okay, how do you
Um,
bind all of the pages?
I don't. I just put them in a folder and I bring them. I don't complicate it, you guys. People don't care. Here's the thing. I show up wearing this. I show up wearing this. Sometimes it sets people back a little bit. But the moment I start speaking and I show them I am the professional, that I know my stuff, none of this matters. You guys know what Sarah, she's always dressed nicely and blah, blah, blah. But when I'm not making it look pretty, I'm literally printing it off. It's coming right from the MLS. And I'm not knocking anybody who does books and does binders and all of that stuff. That's super cool. That's you. That's your brand. Completely be you and be your brand. I'm just giving you more tools to elevate you and your brand. I'm elevating the information you're willing to able to bring to somebody to what? Help them make an informed decision by the time you leave. It's not our job to convince anybody to do anything. That's yes, that's what sales is, but sales is making somebody feel comfortable enough to say yes.
Okay, well, this is a great question. What about those high Ds that don't care about all of the data points?
I fully understand where you're coming from. And listen, over the next 45 minutes, you're probably going to hate most of what I say. But here's the thing. You're hiring me because I'm in the top 1/2 of 1% for Remax in the world. This is what I do full time, all the time. By the time I am done with this presentation, which most of it you're going to hate, you're going to be able to make an informed decision because that's my job to give you all the information you need to make an informed decision by the time I leave. Would it be okay if we just get through this together for the next 45 minutes?
And who else is a D?
I'm a D. Absolutely. And if there's a couple sitting there, what I'm going to say is one of you is absolutely going to hate this and one of you is going to want even more. Who's who? And they're going to be like, oh, I want all the information. One of them's going to be like, this is going to be horrible. You just hang in there and we'll get to you, okay? You're going to want to know. You just want to tell me what the brass tacks is, right? You just want me to tell you what it's for sale, right? Yes, just tell me what it's worth. I don't know yet. We haven't gone through the data together. What I like to do is I like to show everybody the information. Because if you're like me, you can't tell me anything. You just show. D is a D on the disc profile, the DISC. Ds are very direct. That's a whole nother class. If you guys want to talk about the disc profile anytime, let me know. But you just set the presentation. From the time I walk in, the first thing I say is, nice to meet you. Awesome. For the next 45 minutes, I'm going to control the flow of conversation, not because what you have to say isn't important, but because my job is to give you all the information you need to make an informed decision by the time I leave. So with that being said, where can I put my bag down? And let's go ahead and take a tour of the property. People are like, oh, snap. It's not to be rude. It's because who's the professional? You are.
And how long is your tour?
5 to 6 minutes, tops. That's it. Like, and here's the thing. It's in there. And then I always say 45 minutes. And guess what? There's that one person who wants to talk about the Cardinals that come every year that live in the tree in the backyard. And guess what you're going to do? You're going to sit there for 45 more minutes, drink crappy coffee, and you're going to talk about the Cardinals because it matters to them. So it should matter to you. But I need to deliver this information in a concise way. So by the time I leave, you can make an informed decision.
Thoughts on the MLS CMA versus RPR CMA?
I have no idea what the RPR CMA is. It doesn't matter. Just use it. If you're using it and it's working for you, great. If you're using it and it's not working for you, time for a change. I have no thoughts on the RPR CMA. I have never opened it. I have no idea.
Okay. Really, how long is your presentation? You've answered it 45 minutes?
It is 45 minutes. If it is somebody that is like me, we are in and out in 45 minutes. I would say it tends to be about 60 minutes. And then if we're signing paperwork, an hour and 15 to an hour and 30. So yeah, legitimately, this I've got it down to a script. And it is 10, 11 o'clock. If anybody has to leave, go for it. Otherwise, I'll keep answering questions. I love this stuff, you guys.
So you don't do any of your CMA work ahead of time?
No, I print it off and I go through it with them. Hey, Miss Seller, I haven't looked at this information before I got here because I didn't know what I was walking into. So therefore, what we're going to do today is we're going to look at all these. Some of them are going to be below us. Some of them are going to be above us. But in there, somewhere we're going to find something that's close to us. We're going to be able to extrapolate either up or down what I think our list and or sales price should be, because very rarely are they the same. We'll be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So we go through it together.
Another question, Will?
I can print off all of this data in 7 minutes, not exaggerating, for a property I've never seen. 82% success rate.
Do you recommend always printing out all of it, or would you ever present on a tablet?
You do you. If you can present on a tablet, awesome. I would personally, I would have a paper backup, because if you're presenting to me and it's on a tablet, I want to see things. I want to have it spread out in front of me. So I would have the presentation prepared for the lowest common denominator, which means the most work for you. I print out every single thing every single time. You guys, we have people who have transacted with us 9 times plus. They get the same exact presentation every single time.
And they're prepared for it.
And they're prepared. You skip steps, you miss steps. You guys ever been walking down a set of stairs and you miss that last step? It's a brutal thing. Like, and if you miss a step halfway up the stairs, you're falling all the way down. Thank you, Gina. So no, I don't miss cut corners, because when you skip steps, you miss steps. I don't care if it's our first time meeting or you were a part of my wedding. You are getting this exact presentation every single time, so you have all the information you need to make an informed decision by the time I leave.
Do you determine their list price at the appointment?
Yes.
And what if their home is dated?
That's why I bring a variety of homes. If I'm bringing 25, 35, 45 data points, and most of them are in that 500 to 700,000 range, awesome. When I first start looking out, I'll just leave the price range open and I'll do the first 50 homes around it. Well, all of them are 5 to 7, but there's one that's 300. That's an outlier. I'm going to take that out. This works well over 97, 98% of the time that I have all the information I need so they can make an informed decision. Every once and again, very, very rarely. No, it's a one-step process. There is no walkthrough. One-step process. Very rarely will there be very rarely are they the outlier in the data set.
Okay, another question for you, Will. Do you print single-sided or double-sided?
Always.
Good question.
Great question. Always single-sided. You don't want to be sitting there flipping it over upside down. Always single-sided. So yes, I go through a 1,000+ pieces of paper a month. And I'm very fine with it.
I think I've answered.
Do you start your appointment with what?
Do you?
Yep, I started the appointment with the house tour, but
You lead it.
I lead the house tour. I don't ask them to walk me through all the improvements they've done, because the improvements they've done only matter to them. We put new windows in 5 years ago. That's great. And I appreciate that, because all homes are expected to have functioning windows. I do say that though.
Yeah.
I am very matter of fact. You know, it's like, well, we just spent 30 grand on windows. That's congratulations. I love that. And I know windows are expensive and unsexy money to spend, but all homes are expected to have functioning furnaces, functioning windows.
Talk about marketability.
And there's marketability versus value. We're 4 minutes over. MLS, can I have a few more minutes to keep talking, or should I stop?
You are good. We will.
Okay.
We can keep. People want to stay. We're fine.
Now, when people say this should make my home more valuable because they have a nice lot, right? And in new construction, yes, there are a lot premiums, but guess what is it? Maybe $5, $10, $15,000. It's some on the higher end, they get more expensive. Talk about marketability versus value. So here's an example I use. Let's say there's a 1990 built home in Plymouth, Minnesota, and there's 2 of them right next to each other. They are identical clones, including us sitting in the property right now. One of them is everything original to 1990. And this one was updated in 2005. Statistically, they are identical. Same square footage, they all have windows and all of that. Now, let's say one of them just spent $50,000 on windows. Does it increase the price? Maybe a little bit, maybe, right? But what it really does is make it more marketable. So if we both go on the market at $600,000 and we are statistically the same, now it's not some high-end neighborhood where, they're doing $2 million properties, right? One of us is going to get more attention. And the first sale is photos. If we do all the photos right, we're going to get a lot of views. Great. Second sale is getting butts through the door. And the third sale is getting a purchase agreement written. So one is more marketable, one is more value. Yes, the cost versus value report is amazing. I truly do love that. So that's how I say, well, hey, I just 10 years ago, I just got brand new windows. Absolutely. That's super cool. That makes the property more marketable, not necessarily more valuable, because everybody's expected to have functioning windows. I just built a new 2-car garage. You probably paid a lot for it. You just spent $60,000. The appraisal value of that's maybe $25,000, but it doesn't make your home more valuable because everybody has a 2-car garage here. It makes it more marketable because it's a new 2-car garage. Does that make sense?
Will, how hard, this is from Katie Carter, how hard do you think it would be to go to a one-step presentation when you're used to doing a two-step?
Just do it. They're not going to know the difference. Here's the thing. If you screw up, just say it confidently. I'm serious. Like if I screw up, just say it confidently. They're not going to know that you've never done a one-step presentation before. Don't be like, oh, it's my first time doing this. Just be like, oh, just say it confidently. I say stuff confidently all the time, and I just hope I'm right. And if I'm not, I just confidently apologize. Like, oh,
yeah, I've spoken like a D.
Yeah. So, Katie, I'd say give it a shot and just
we
go
only
for it.
do one.
We only do one-step presentation. That's it.
And then follow up.
Well, the follow-up, the money's in the follow-up. We all know that, right?
Quick question for you, Will. Other homes have, okay, you kind of went through that about the marketability, so we got that down. Do you talk about what they think the price should be? You really only talk about price as you go through at the end.
So as we're going through all the data points, I love this question. As we're going through the data points, because I've toured the home now, and say we're on data point 13 or 14, and I'm like, you know what? Does this one's a good one for us because we're pretty close to this one right here. This one listed at 540 and sold for 560. Can you see that? Yeah. And they'll be like, oh yeah, that is like our house. So as I'm going through the data points with them, their verbal and nonverbal cues, and they'll see exactly where their home is going to lie. And then say they're a 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom, 3,000 square foot. Now the next one is a 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom, 4,000 square foot, and is just as updated. It sold for 580. Well, as you can see here, this one is statistically superior to us by almost 1,000 square foot. And it sold for 30,000 more than where I think we're going to be at. So even if for some reason we miraculously got an offer for 580, we'd have a hard time appraising at 580 because we're statistically inferior to this one. People are they're shaking their head yes, because I'm showing them what it looks, what it's list, what it 4,000, we're a 3,000.
Oh, this is a good question. About the real value algorithm and like Zillow. Like how do you incorporate that?
Okay, so when people say, so I take care of Zillow right away. When I'm showing the AVM, the area value market, on the taxes where it says gives you the range, I print that off and it's gonna give a range between like 350 and 450, and then it's gonna average it at 400. So this is exactly what I say. Say everything on here is public information except for this one bit of information. It's called the real value algorithm right here. It gives us a range between 350 and 450, so it has no idea what your home is worth. So it averages it at $400,000. Now think of it as like Zillow's estimate, but worse, because Zillow lost $500 million using their own algorithm to buy homes. But what it does do, it gives us a good starting point. So it's our job to prove or disprove this number based upon all the data points I have here. That is literally line for line what I say, word for word, inflection and everything. I love this, you guys. This gets me jacked up. I could do this literally every day.
So Will, if people have questions or need like a workshop with
Yeah.
you, what are you willing to, there's a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
So what are the best ways for people to connect with you
Man,
for this?
for this, I would say I'll send out an email. MLS will send out an email with the replay. Um, just shoot me an email, William at agoodlifegroup.com. And if you can get a group of people together, or maybe I will do another webinar, or I can do another in person or something like this. I just love this stuff. Here's my one ask though: the 229 of you already here, still here, is no stinking thinking. I'm not going to work with people who say, oh, that won't work for me or that won't work in my market. What I will do is say, well, let's adapt it. Let's see how we can make this work for you. So I'm willing to work with anybody and give as much training as I can on this because I truly believe that if we can all just be amazing at what we do, the BS and the negativity that surrounds our industry can start to go away. And we can be that catalyst of change. I firmly believe that with everything in my being. And it's once again, it's not about a competition, it's about collaboration. There's still 230 of you in here. I don't know if I've ever been up against any of you on a listing appointment. And if I do, best of luck. Let's go. As long as the client's happy at the end of the day and they give you a referral, that's what
Oh,
matters.
you did talk about the referral?
Yeah, yeah. I talked
Okay.
about get asked the referral.
I just think that's so important because of how many referrals we get.
We get a ton of referrals, you guys. We're gonna do 85 to 90 units this year. 65% of them will be listings, and we'll do about 30 some million in volume. And now, in the beginning, I was a massive prospector and I still do some prospecting. But because of how we ask for referrals, that is where our business is coming from. We are intentional with asking for referrals. And the only reason I have the confidence to do it, besides the fact I'm a D, is because I know I'm providing the value to them. I know I'm giving them all the information they need to make an informed decision by the time I leave.
Wow. Are we listening at 1.25 speed?
I get all jacked up. I'm on Mountain Dew. Woo! Okay, there's still 225 here. I think this might be a good time to call it quits.
Oh, we didn't really talk about AI.
I don't use AI for my equity evaluation. And by the way, we call it an equity evaluation because all anybody cares about is how much money they're going to walk away with. That's it. They just want to know at the end of the day, how much money can I put towards my next property? Or how much money do I have to give my ex so they can go away? Or how much money so I can buy a yard for my puppy?
So I would say for the AI question, we don't use it for this part of the presentation,
Oh,
but
we use
we
AI
use it for so people can find us.
yeah, we use AI all the time. This presentation, I do not use AI because I can print it off in 7 minutes with the tool that we all have to pay for anyways. So no hate on AI. Absolutely ChatGPT fiend right here. Love it. Just
Claude.
just for myself, I have found that it's not something I need at this point in time to incorporate. Now, if I can gain value from using it in my presentation, 100% I'm all in. As long as I can provide value to the client. Okay, now I'm going to call it an end. We're solid
Thank
13 minutes over here.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you so
sorry.
much for being with us. We will get this recording out to everybody today. Those who did attend and those who were not able to attend, we can add your contact information how you'd like to, Will and Sarah. But again, thank you for being here. And like I said, we're so glad to have everybody, 206 people still on
It's
13
amazing.
minutes after. That says a lot. So
All the best.
thank you, everyone, and have a great day.
All right, we out.
All
Deuces.
right. Thanks again.
Bye.